Welcome everybody, my name is Joe and I'm with Others Electric, and today we're going to talk about engineering and electrical contractors. More specifically, are electrical contractors allowed to do engineering for permit purposes or any other purpose that might require engineering for an electrical system? And the answer to that in the state of Florida, according to my interpretation, is yes. And my qualifying licenses are: I'm an electrical contractor in the state of Florida, multiple electrical contracting licenses. I'm a Florida electrical plans examiner, electrical inspector, and building inspector. So I have a little bit of knowledge on the subject. But anyway, we're going to read right out of the Florida statute because it's very specific. So let's take a look. So we're going to be in the Florida statute 2023. So let's look what it says, okay? So I'm going to bring you right in. All right, so what I'm in is, if you look here, floridasenate.gov. These are the laws, right? So you see it there, Florida Senate, okay? 2023 statutes, okay? So let's go. What we're looking for is the professional licensing board or titles, which is 32. It says, see, Title 32 or XXXII, regulations of professions and occupancies, or occupants. Okay, and we're going to look for the section that says engineering. Okay, it's chapter 471 in Title 33 or 32. Okay, and we're going to look up. Here's all of the statutes that have anything to do with engineering in the state of Florida. So let's go into here. Ready? 471.003. Qualifications for practice. These are the exemptions. Okay, and it says here. All right. Under H, I want you to pay close attention. Okay, let's read this slowly. You're going to read it with me. H, any electrical, plumbing, air conditioner, or mechanical contractor whose practice includes the design and fabrication of electrical, plumbing, and air conditioning, mechanical systems, respectively, which she or he installs by virtue of a license issued under Chapter 489, which Chapter 489 is the section that we took our electrical license under. So if you have electrical license in Florida, it was under 489 and under former Part 1 of Chapter 553. So yes, or under any special act or ordinance when working on any construction project which requires an electrical or plumbing or air conditioning and refrigeration system with a value of $125,000 or less. So if the value of the work you're engineering is under $125,000, which today isn't very much, I wonder if they're going to change that. They might change that in the future, okay? And then there's a couple other requirements. Requires an aggregate service capacity of 600 amps, 240 volts, or less on a residential service. Okay, so it says right here. Okay, let's look at that on the big board, and I'll highlight it for you. So let's get it right here. I want to get this really big. Okay, so the first one, right here. Says right here, service capacity of 600 amps or less. That's not working. Let's circle it. 600 amps or less, 240 volts for a residential electrical service. So yes, for a residential project, 1 or 2 family dwelling in the state of Florida, electrical contractors can engineer the entire electrical project if it's under 600 amps or less. They do not need to hire an electrical engineer. The electrician, if he's licensed, can do that work, all right? So let's sweep that off. Close that. Okay, let's go back into here. All right, let's continue to look here. And now, that's for residential. Let's look at commercial. Or 800 amps at 240 volts or less on a commercial or industrial electrical system. So, if your buddy has a commercial project and the electrical service is 800 amps or less at 240 volts, you can do the electrical engineering for the addition of the electrical branch circuitry for his additional AC system, or so on and so forth. Anything under, if that electrical system is 800 amps or less. Now, here's where it gets a little muddy, and that's up to, I guess, some sort of interpretation. Does that include if you're working on a condo and the main service coming in the condo is, 4,000 amps, and you're trying to do an electrical service inside, the suite on the 4th floor where it's just, your apartment unit? You got to talk to the building official because they might look at that differently. My interpretation is, yeah, if you're working on that 200 amp system or smaller on a big unit, just that system, I don't see why we couldn't. But again, that's up to interpretation. But the answer is yes. Electrical contractors can engineer electrical projects for permitting. All they have to do is do the work, put the calculation, show the work, sign it, put your license number, and call it a day. All right, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I want to reiterate, I am just an electrician trying to give as much information on my knowledge as possible. Don't take anything I say as the final word. When dealing with statutes, consult a lawyer, consult a building official, consult an engineer. But at least with this information, you will have, a little bit of leg to stand on, so to speak. So, all right, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Have a wonderful day.